Hey, this is Molly, and welcome back to my YouTube channel as we take a look at the Capricorn Stellium energies that were strong in the late 80s. So this chart is for February 1989, when we had Uranus at 3 degrees of Cap, Saturn 9 degrees of Cap, and Neptune 11 degrees of Cap. So depending on when you were born, these could be in a tighter conjunction, they could be further apart, but you're dealing with 3 outer planets in Capricorn in a particular house or houses in your natal chart. So this brings an importance to Capricorn areas in your life. Regardless of your sun sign, moon sign, you have a strong Capricorn signature that you are here to work with and master throughout your life. Now keep in mind, you have Saturn here in Capricorn, which is the ruler. And this is where you are really experiencing the fruits of your labor. And you already had your first Saturn return between the ages of 28 and 30, where that transiting Saturn and Capricorn went over all 3 planets here and really brought up this area of your life. Now, Capricorn is associated with work, career, profession, what you do out in the world, how you're recognized for your expertise, what you learn along the way. This is the energy of you apply time, energy, and effort into something so that you can go out into the world and use your skills. You can set goals, you want to achieve something. There's things that you feel at a deep level of your being that you're here to contribute to. There's something about showing up in the world that's a big deal for you. Now, in your life, starting in 2008, 2009, we had Pluto entering Capricorn, and it went over all of these planets, worked with all of your planets very personally and intensely, once in a lifetime. So depending on what degree point you have these planets, it would have been very transformative time in your life. And again, that would have been over the course of a number of years. So in this example chart, Pluto would have been at 3 degrees of Capricorn, think about 2009, 2010, and then it stayed working with all these planets into 2012, 2013. So it would have been a long period of time where your Capricorn energies were being transformed. Now, this can show up actually through your home environment, through your understanding of what you want to do in the world, where maybe you had a job or a first job, an internship, an apprenticeship, and you were learning about how the world works. You were learning what matters, what counts. What do I want to achieve? What do I want to focus on? And maybe there were parts of you that became very entrepreneurial through these experiences where you saw how things are set up and maybe decided you wanted to go your own way, you wanted to do your own thing, you wanted to build your own dream. And that is one of the energy signatures here of these 3 planets, because Uranus is the entrepreneur and wanting to do things your own way. Saturn is the commitment, the responsibility, the desire to put in hard work. And that Neptune is the dream. What am I working for? What's the bigger picture? What's it all about? So you've had a lot of energy here working with you and transforming your life permanently. Again, depends on the house placement, but it's really been intense. It could have felt tumultuous and destructive, where you had no idea what you wanted to do with your life, no idea what you wanted to do in the world. Maybe nothing really appealed to you. Maybe you didn't even like how things were set up. Sort of like starting a corporate job and realizing, oh my gosh, this is not what I thought it was. This is not what I want, because that Uranus energy wants to be free. And that Neptune energy does want to create, and it doesn't want to be hard pressed. It doesn't want to be overcommitted. So you have a very interesting lineup of energies here where you're really finding out what you want to do in the world on your own terms. And this is changing the trajectory of your career and your profession, taking you into some new niches, some new specialties, some new areas of professional expertise. I feel like this is an energy of really following what you're drawn to that could be very different than previous generations. This is also the energy of don't tell me what to do. So your bosses and your managers may have had a hard time managing you or wrangling you because you have a desire to challenge authority. There can be some lessons around that, where it's important to respect authority, but to not lose your own self-respect. So this brings up relationships with power dynamics, with mentors, with who you're learning from, because a part of you feels like you have what you need. That Capricorn energy is independent. It will make an executive decision for itself. It will say, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to build my own business. And that's one of the best ways this energy shows up, is that there could be something that is calling to you, and you're learning through it. You're learning what it's really about, because that Neptune in Capricorn is the idealized version, and that Saturn is the reality. Okay, it takes a lot of work to build a dream. It takes a lot of work and time to get it right, to bring it together. And this energy is committed. It has a plan. It has a strategy. It is here to build new businesses. You are the generation that's here to create new lines of work, new opportunities, new areas for people to go into. You are looking for the recognition. You're looking for the sense of achievement. And you would be committed for the long haul. Definitely. It's going to be important to keep an eye on this, the transiting Saturn energy, because transiting Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and you're going to have big life changes when the Saturn gets into Aries. And that will be 2023 to 2026 or so. That Saturn in Aries is going to square this, and this is when you could decide to do something new, to leave, to move on, to go the new direction. So just keep that in your planning. There could be new leadership to this coming through. When I see strong Capricorn, it's important to be aware of your leadership style, how you develop and use your leadership, how you work with others. Also important to make sure you have the right forms of support, be it through people you work with, be it through relationships, through family, to remind you don't have to go it alone. You also need to make time for a vacation or a break, because you might not know when to leave the office or turn off the computer. You might be so driven and so motivated to the point of exhaustion. And you got to watch that Neptune that will remind you that you don't have to do it all right now or this week or this month, that there's a plan, and it's good to have a plan. But I feel like what you're really understanding in this lifetime is that there are certain skill sets you have that you can offer and use based on your own creativity and your own direction in life. And you're here to go your own way. Now, this, I've been talking about it in regards to jobs and careers and profession. Keep in mind that this can show up through relationships where you're learning that it's valuable to have relationships, how to be diplomatic, how to share. There's things here that are, it's like, there's so much you can do on your own. There's just so much you can do on your own, but that might not be the right approach in relationships. So heads up about that so that you're aware of it in yourself, because you're also learning potentially to receive. Now you'll see here that there's the Chiron in Cancer that's opposing the Capricorn lineup. And so you might have Chiron here, or you might have Chiron in Gemini. But if you have Chiron in Cancer, that relates to your home environment. This relates to the family dynamics, because that Cancer can be the mother and this can be the father. It can be reversed for some people. And it's almost like if the immediate family environment, home environment didn't feel good, was too much, you didn't feel seen, like you were like, I'm going to go get a job. I'm going to go do something outside of this environment. I'm going to follow my own path, because this is a tender spot, a tender spot that you will be looking at during your Chiron return between 49 and 51 years of age. And so also, there could be something here where you weren't able to receive. You didn't feel supported. You didn't get the emotional support or nurturing or sense of safety that you really craved. And that could be one of the areas of life that you're balancing and learning about, is that for everything you can do on your own, it's okay to have a soft place to land at the end of the day, where you take the hardships, you take the intensity, that you understand you don't have to do it all on your own shoulders, because there can be an overcompensation here. This is where you're like, I don't know what to do with relationships. I don't know what to do with people or with my home life. I'm just going to keep working. I'm just going to direct all my energy here. And maybe that's good for a certain period of time, but just stay mindful of the wholeness of who you are and the wholeness of your skills, and how you can trust people. You can open up. You can share with them more of what's going on. And maybe it's just one person, a trusted friend, family member, spouse, but you do need a soft place to land. And that could be what you're learning as well, is that even though you're really more comfortable here working, being productive, being industrious, getting things done, all business, there could be something in your chart where you're also learning how to balance that. Now, the other thing to keep in mind is that, of course, your chart could look very different than this. And if you have any planets in earth signs, especially Taurus or Virgo, they can help with directing this energy. And it's also beneficial if you have any planets in the water signs of Scorpio and Pisces, to help with directing the energy too. Now, I feel like many of you are here to have big achievements in this life. You're here to really get things done, and there could be things that you're already good at because you've done it in previous lifetimes. It's like you can sit down at the desk and you know how to operate something, or you know how to manage it, or you know how to take care of something, because you could have some soul gifts here in the Capricorn areas of life. People management, running the ship, organizing things, understanding the bigger picture, being that CEO, being that one in charge. So many of you are made to run your own business. And you've probably learned that, or maybe you are learning that's how this Capricorn energy feels strong and in charge, is when it's doing its own thing. So know that about yourself and work with it. Work with it in the ways that fit you best. So I hope this has given you some good insights into this Capricorn stellium. I know that you had big years as Pluto in Capricorn went across all of these points, and then Saturn in Capricorn went across them as well. Maybe you had a change in career. Maybe you moved in a new direction. Maybe you finally understood a passion or something that you really wanted to put energy towards. So now that you're on the other side of that Saturn return, there's more for you to take out into the world and more that you're continually learning and applying. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you've gotten some beneficial insights from this video. If you want to learn astrology with me, check out the courses I offer below this video. You can learn transits. You can learn more about your natal astrology chart. You can learn how to read your solar return chart and so much more. So please check it out below the video. Otherwise, I hope to see you back here soon for my next video, and I wish you a beautiful day ahead.